All right, hey, we are jumping back in for another episode.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's, man, I'm telling you what, summer's moving along.
Thankfully.
And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and start out. I'm ready for fall.
Me too.
I am sick
Me
of the
too.
heat.
Yes, I am
I'm
as
sick
well.
of the heat. It's been 9,000 degrees for like 12
I feel like I'm
days
back
in
in
a row.
Arizona.
Well, it
Except
does
there's
feel like-
humidity here.
Arizona with humidity.
Yeah, Arizona with humidity, and that's absolutely miserable. But I don't know. It happens every August.
It does. It's on the
and
calendar.
you complain about it every bit, but I don't know. But September going into October is beautiful in Nashville, Tennessee. This time or coming up, and
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it.
I am
So,
as well.
Football has started. That's the unofficial
That's
trigger
right.
to
Yeah.
we're moving into the fall. We're moving into the cooler weather. I'm ready as well, sir.
That's right. Well,
All right.
I'm a huge college football fan, so I cannot wait. So I'm always into it. So hey, actually, Richard, we've got a third voice
We've got a
over
guest.
here. I do.
Somebody's going, hey, who is that other guy talking?
That's exactly right. We got Andrew Swift
Yes.
from Stagg Guitars.
EMD.
Or EMD. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to kind of tell the story and, have fun with us here. But
Yeah.
anyways, Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're a veteran of Middle Tennessee, right?
I've been here for 23 years.
23
yes.
years. So does that officially say, oh, I'm from Middle Tennessee, or do you still say you're from wherever you came from?
I do. I'm originally a Pennsylvania native, and moved down here in '96, and I love it here. I don't see myself going anywhere, and I'm officially a Middle Tennessee.
I know. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, so
Okay.
the winters down here, obviously in Pennsylvania and Ohio, man, they just can be brutal. So it's just nice. The winters, the summers get hot, but man, I'm telling you, the winters are awesome. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, we got Andrew here.
Yes.
You and Andrew have been friends for years.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
It
How did you
started
guys
out.
meet?
Well, it was kind of crazy. We talk. I have in the podcast about I've come from a couple stores, one being really good and run very well, and I learned a lot, and another one not as much.
Yeah.
And that one that was the not as much is where I met Andrew. A funny kind of story is I remember working at this music store where, truthfully, I shouldn't have been hired because there was too many salesmen, in my opinion, and not enough product. Because I'll never forget, I came from a world where I did everything. I was the manager. I bought. I did all that, and then come into an environment that was already being done, and some great salesmen. We had some good guys there. And then I remember working in the drum room with Andrew, and I was selling something. He pulled me aside, and he goes, hey, hold on a second. We can't do that. And I'm like, why? And he goes, because we're on credit hold with him for that. And I'm like, what? And I go, but I'm going to sell this and that. And he goes, can't do that either. We're on credit hold with them. And I'm like, oh, no. And I remember a sinking feeling going, what did I do? Mm-hmm. Did I get a job at a place? Because it seemed like everything was on credit hold.
Yeah.
But Andrew was gracious to kind of explain how it went. But
And I wonder if I ever ran across you there over at that store. That's actually how I met Richard, because I bought a AC30 from there.
Okay.
And had some issues with it, and Richard ended up taking care of the problem. But so very cool. So
Yeah,
you
he
guys
was there.
worked there for
Yeah.
several years, or?
I spent about 3 years there. I've got started MI retail in like 93 or 94 up in Pennsylvania, and then I
Okay.
moved down here and worked at the store with Richard. It was a creative challenge there. We had some dealers have challenges. I mean, sometimes they have issues paying their bills. Sometimes some of your supply chains are gonna go cold, and that's a tough thing to that's a tough thing to present to an employee. When you're bringing them in, because you want that guy. I was
Sure.
there first, and the management wanted Richard, and it was the right decision to bring him in. But you can't say, man, we pay most of the people, and we eventually get the product. And
we have to be
you gotta be a little
creative with our
careful about
buying.
special
Yeah.
orders.
We pay most of the people. That's funny.
It's better to sell what's in stock than to actually have to order things. And,
Yeah.
but it's a challenge that all retailers have to this day. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but one thing I will say though, the staff, and hopefully Andrew can attest to this, the staff of guys there was super, super good, high quality people that knew how to do their job.
Yeah,
So
well,
that was nice.
And create a long-lasting relationship. So, which is always a win.
So thankfully, we've both moved on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'll agree to that, and I'll sing the praises of the vast majority of the salespeople there. I mean, everybody was good. The vast majority of everybody's still in the industry and has moved, up the ladder per se. You know, whether it be in the supply chain or the dealer network or product development or what have you. It was a great group of people.
It was an awesome group.
Well,
so let's talk about what you got going on, because you have landed in a great spot, and that's why you're here. And so we're going to talk about your title, which we were joking around earlier, and we'll probably joke around a little bit more. But tell us how long you've been there, what's your title, and what you got going on.
Well, EMD started in North America, incorporated in 2002, and started bringing in products and signing on dealers in 2003. A lot of the people split off from Mapex, and I was the first hire that wasn't from Mapex, and I was brought on. Basically, we had about 20 dealers, and we needed warehouse organization, we needed customer service, we needed guitar teching, we needed logistics, we needed everything. We couldn't hire people to do all of these things, and I'm like, well, I've sort of done all of those things to some extent, so I was the logical guy to bring on. I was I would set up guitars in the morning, I would take customer service calls in the afternoon, I literally would help offload containers. I would kind of work on their warehouse logistics because I came from one of the larger distributors in the country, so I kind of knew how it flowed. I kind of knew how that stuff worked. It was easy to set up a system that mimicked, one that I saw work really well. So, and that was in 2003. So, it went from that, transitioned into more customer service, eventually became assistant sales manager, and then it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago I got put in position of operations manager, which means I oversee the customer service department, I oversee all the tech departments, and I oversee shipping and receiving, and basically the office operation within North America.
So you're the director of North America.
So we gave you a title. So as we were announcing this podcast,
can you give me a raise?
That's what we're going to talk about, because operations manager is a good title, but we gave you a great title now. And so in the podcast last week when we were announcing that we had you coming on as a guest, Nate just made one up because he didn't know what to call you, and he gave you a great title, so I think that's what we're going with.
Yeah, we knew you were extremely important over there.
Okay.
And so we thought Director of North America was very fitting. So, so I don't know if that does, if it comes with a pay raise or something like that, maybe you could.
I think we need to work on that.
I'll try. I'll work. I'll see
well,
what
whoever
I can do
needs
on
to
that.
listen to this needs to edit this out and send it to them.
All right. Well, I guess we need to correct it for the record. Operations Manager of North America. So
Correct.
Still a big title.
So very, very big title. So
well, the EMD North American structure is there's 3 of us that are in charge. We have Tony Graham, who's our national sales manager, and he oversees the whole outside sales force, and he's based in Southern California. And then we have Ennis Marcus, who's the finance manager, who's over all things money, basically the credit department, and then there's me, and I oversee basically everything else. EMD stands for European Music Distribution, so we are a division of a company based out of Brussels, Belgium. EMD has been over there, and they're one of the larger distributors in that market. They've been functioning over there for well over 50 years. And like I said, the U.S. operation started about 16 years ago, approximately, and
so your main job over the years is to grow your presence in North America.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We want to. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, I help with product development, I help with sales, I help with marketing efforts. I'm kind of the primary liaison between the Belgian office, where our bosses and our product development and our marketing people are, and the North American operation.
It's kind of interesting that you guys came over here as a company, because there's not many that go from United States over into other places that I know of. I mean, I might be wrong there, but what was the decision to go from Europe into America?
Well, they were one of the larger distributors over there, and still are, and they kind of maxed out the market to an extent. And
Gotcha.
I mean, the U.S. is the biggest market
Had to grow
in
somewhere.
the globe, so
Yeah.
it's a really logical place to go. So it was, the option was, do we take our brands and put them with an existing distributor, or do we just open an office and go
Do
for
it ourselves,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm glad and I'm lucky that they chose Plan B and opened an office over here and went for it.
And how has that gone? Because I've seen a little bit of the evolution of you guys here in the United States, and I've seen a lot of growth and acceptance. I mean,
Yeah.
what's your thought?
Yeah, it was, the first, since I've been there, since we've had 20 dealers and now, we're up over 1,200, it was a lot of, I'm not familiar with you guys, I haven't heard of you guys, and it was telling the story a lot. And now the cool thing is it's come full circle to a point where customers seek us out. They're like, I've seen your product.
Gotcha.
I'm familiar with what you guys do. I want to be a part of this. I want to buy your stuff. How do I go about doing that? And we want them. We need customers. We got the infrastructure and everything to take care of them, and that's what we do.
Yeah, and I mean, was a lot of that acceptance from like Winter NAMs? Because I know I've been into my throat kind of gave out there. I've been to a couple of the winter shows and seen your guys' booth, and it was just killer, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys didn't look like a startup brand, so to speak, or a smaller brand. You guys look like a well-established brand that was very inviting and very cool product and good presentation and stuff like that. Do you think that was on the beginning, on the early years? Was that a little bit of help to you guys, or what kind of broke you guys into the market? Advertising or just a staying power?
Well, it's important that when we go to the shows that we look like we belong there, and we really bring it and set up, a big, impressive, interactive, the kind of display that's going to draw the customer in and make the customer want to be a part of what we're doing. We never really have done a ton of marketing efforts in terms of print and that kind of thing because, our core brand from day one, the Stagg brand, is an entry-level thing. So to market it to musicians is kind of a different step. Our customer is mom. Mm-hmm. The retail customer sells our stuff on an entry level, and what it is it's easy. We want to have a reliable product, we want to have it priced well so it's profitable for the dealers, and we want to have responsive customer service that's ready, willing, and able to help. We want to it's easy. People need profitability. People need good, reliable products. That's what we bring. We might not have the coolness factor that a Fender brand does, that a Gibson brand does, but our customers are running businesses; they need to make money.
But do you find out, even though that may be like there's staple brands, there's A-list brands, for lack of a better word, like a Fender and some of those, but then you get a lot of those clients that go, just we need something different. Mm-hmm. We need to seek out a company that's different because we need something in our store that makes us unique. Do you find people like that to where they're going after your brand because it's not like what they would find at a big box store or everybody else has?
Yeah, and it's also the profitability factor. Like I said, they want something that's unique and they want something that makes sense with them. Mm-hmm. And we kind of have the ability to morph. We can be to one dealer, a brass and woodwind, supply, and we can be to another dealer even in the same town, rock and roll. We can be guitars and amps, and accessories. We can go anywhere and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can be what you need us to be, and the requirements that we put on dealers aren't. You have to stock this, and you have to stock that, and you have to stock that.
So that I find that hugely important because if I was in a town that was a small to a medium, and I'm just making this up, and didn't do the big city numbers, I would look at you guys as a huge asset because you guys would seem to be easy to work with. Profitability is something that you mentioned, and I find would be a big card, to pull from. And the brand acceptance in a lot of areas is okay. You guys have some very cool stuff. Do you find that you deal a lot with small to medium dealers? or are you dealing across the board, or what's your dealer base look like?
We deal with a little bit of everybody. It's we do small. I mean, I've been in some shops that are 600 square feet that are decent dealers for us, where we might have 40 to 60% of their inventory, and then I've been in a 10,000 square foot huge awesome dealer that we might handle their tambourines, shakers, cabasses, small percussion, and that kind of thing, and that's cool. That's where they needed us. So we'll go there, and that's fine. That works for them. Other things work for other dealers, but I mean, we're running a business too, so we'll take customers of all kinds.
Well, and a lot of your approach could probably be, even if somebody might carry a certain accessories or cables or whatever, you could be another option for the store. I mean, a lot of times music stores want to have multiple options, multiple brands to be able to provide for their customers walking in the door.
Options, yeah.
Yeah, they should. I mean, stores should have, a good, better, best selection, and stores need to understand their market. A store in Nashville, Tennessee is different than a store in Los Angeles, is different than a store in New York State.
Yeah.
And all those things, they need to know, if a store in New York State wants to stock up on banjos and upright basses, that's more of a Nashville thing.
Sure.
The stores need to understand their market, and we have what they need to tailor to the specific markets and work in that regard.
Now, do you have mainly outside reps, or do you guys do more inside sales, or what's that look like?
Well, we have both. We have a very, very traditional old school kind of model, whereas we have outside sales reps. I believe we have 17 across the U.S., covering all but 2 states, and I think we have 4 across Canada. So we have a feet on the street at every location, and then we have a customer service team in the U.S. and Canada that backs those guys and girls up, and it's very much a coordinated effort to make sure that they're taken care of, to serve the customer base and to serve the customer face efficiently and properly.
Yeah, it seems like the trend is for a lot of companies to go away from reps and have more inside. But it's also, one complaint that I hear is a lot of people say, nobody comes into my store, no one contacts me, no one seems to want my business. Do you find that you get a lot of people go, hey, thanks for coming in and helping, or thanks for calling me? And I'm talking more outside reps. Do you guys find that? That's
been an industry trend, and I understand it because reps are expensive, but reps make the business happen.
Yeah.
So
a good rep,
If you don't have them, then you're a lot less likely to have new prospects, to open stuff up, and if you cut out that expense, then you really, if you want to maintain, you have to fuel other things. You have to fuel your marketing to get the message across to dealers, because they get the message across to dealers. They'll pitch the new products. They'll walk into the store and say, "Hey, man, I can really help you in this category. I can really help you in this product family." So, they're out there getting it done and bringing them in and teaching the dealers how we can help them.
I know it's probably a pain in the butt sometimes for you. Don't have to answer this, but I know it's probably a pain in the butt sometimes. But I'm so glad that you guys do it. I don't know if I'm just traditional, but I like reps, and I like when reps walk in the store, and I'm talking the good reps, because a lot of times they motivated me. They got me to get excited about my job, to buy stuff, and then turn around and sell it. They gave me a lot of information. It may be product that I didn't know as much about. I would say, hey, sell me this product so I could sell the product, and then they would do that. So I hope that's a trend that stays and it comes back, is good road reps. I know a lot of them are tired and they're bitter and jaded, but good reps, man. I have a soft spot for them.
I like how he keeps saying good reps.
And I'm not referring to you guys. I'm talking general, because man, it makes a difference. It really does. Yeah. I look back on my years in retail, and man, there's so much benefit there. Man, I hope that's the case with you guys. I hope you guys are getting into stores and getting people fired up about them, because I think that it's a great asset.
not all reps are created equal. Every single one of them is going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. And there's been a time with the many hats that I wear with the company that I functioned as a road rep for a little while. Just had a small territory, in this area that was kind of an expansion. I just couldn't find somebody. And I was like, it's close enough to drive. I'm going to take this territory. And it's not an easy gig. It's not an easy gig to do that. Yeah, it's kind of like working on an island.
What makes it easy? I mean, so you have experience with going in as a rep. What makes it easy when you walk into a music store? What kind of dealer makes it easy? Because, even here we wholesale product and we have dealers that make it easy and some that make it very difficult. What were those customers? I feel like I'm all talking about bad people and negative things. But I mean, I think the positive in it is I want to search out what makes a good dealer and what makes it you walk in and go, man, I can't wait to go to this store because these guys kill it.
Buyers need to allow you to do your job.
Yeah.
When a rep comes in, a buyer, I don't need anything. I don't want to hear about that. It's like, man, I'm 500 miles from home. I'm only going to be.
Tough.
I'm not going to be back here for another 8 weeks. You agreed to meet me. Whether we don't write a PO or not, that's not a big deal. Let's sit here and go over what I have. And I'm going to pencil down some things that you like and some things that I think might work for your store.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me where you're trying to make more money. I want you to tell me where your selection sucks, where your sales.
You're trying to help them. Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know from you where I can help you, and I want to show you some products. And some people make that. Some customers make that conversation easy.
Yes.
And some customers make that conversation. It's the funny thing. It's like. When somebody walks into a retail store, an associate comes up to them, hey, can I help you find something? No, I'm looking for this. You say no. You don't say yes, but the answer is yes. You can help me. I'm looking for this. But the people want to say no to a salesperson, and then you as a salesperson have to work the work the yes out of it.
Off almost.
But it's so it's the same technique that you would use in retail. You don't ask a yes or no question, because if you ask a yes or no question, you're going to get a no answer.
Correct.
You ask a creative question, something that requires thought. Where's your revenue stream coming from? Where are you not making money? Where and then I'm going to tailor my answers to how I can fit into that model, into that business, into that store, and try and help this guy or girl make money.
Yeah. Do you find that that's a big reason why some guys are real successful and some are not? Is it because they automatically close the door before they allow you in, or they're negative from the get-go? Or do you find those guys that are really successful are the ones that are going, hey, let's talk, let's hang out, let's communicate. I'm not going to buy a lot from you today, but I want to see what you have and where I can make money in the future. Do you find that helpful, or what? I mean, where's the good customer in all of this?
Well, the preconceived notion is difficult. You want to take it from the top down. I mean, when you sell, you're selling your company, you're selling yourself, you're selling your product, and you're doing it in that order. You have to have the right stuff. You have to have the company that's put together that's going to support all these things that you're doing, and then on the next level, they've got to trust you. Sure. Because if they think I'm a slime ball and I'm going to bait and switch them, or I'm not going to have the fill rate that I claim to have, my transit times are going to be bad, my customer service is going to be bad, they're not going to want to deal with me. But you have to sell those levels, and then you move down, and ultimately you're selling the product at that point. And then at that point you're already successful. If you've gotten through hurdle number 1, hurdle number 2, and then you're pushing that, then it's just a matter of time before something closes. And then once you get a foot in the door, and they see from my case what EMD has to bring. We're talking kind of on a general level, but what EMD has to bring, it really can make sense and can expand from there. I've seen stores where we get 1 or 2 products in the door, and then 2 years from now, that guy's carrying 200 or 300 different products
absolutely.
from us.
I can see how you guys are real successful with that, because you guys have a lot of product that is the kind of stuff that if I owned a store, I would go, I need that.
Or, and reliable product.
The margin is great. Man, I've got to have that in my store. And I could see how you get a handful of pieces in, and then before long, you're sold on the brand, you know?
Yeah.
Well, from my position, I look at that on every single level, because, I mean, from a purchasing standpoint, we have to be able to buy enough. We have to be able to stock enough. It has to be something that is a sellable product for the store. You know, I get these guys that come up to me at NAMM, and they invented a bridge that flips backwards and will turn your guitar into a left-handed guitar. And it's like, okay, I'm glad that you invented that, but I'm sorry, the industry doesn't need that product. No one needs that or wants that, so I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to sell it.
Especially more left-handed players.
Did somebody really try to invent that? I just, or did you make that up?
I made that up, but I made that up. However, it's very it's representative of some of the things that I've seen,
and
it's like I'm glad that there's people out there developing products and inventing products and that kind of thing, but sometimes the industry doesn't need that product. If you can take something that the industry needs and either create it from scratch or improve upon it. We just took on a brand called Drum Dots. And Drum Dots is a dampener control that goes on drums. I don't know. Are you familiar with them?
Yep.
Have you used them? Okay. I have some if you need them.
Oh, good.
No, and good
Nice.
dudes. And these guys are chemists, and they spent the time and they developed the right polymer and the right formula to make this product that works better than the other things that are on the market that do the same thing. So, and they won a NAMM Best in Show and that kind of thing. And these guys are selling 2 products. So it doesn't make sense for them to, try and go around and open dealers and hire reps and that kind of thing to sell 2 products that cost a dealer $650 a piece. It's just kind of silly. But for them to come to us and partner with us, that's something where I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
That's something where I'm going to say, okay, I see the industry needs this. It's not in my catalog. I want to sell it. I've got the network to do it. Bring it on. And we've been doing those for about 4 months, and it's been successful.
It's been great.
For us. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, spend a minute and explain, because people that don't know that are listening to this, just so they're not confused, we have and clarify and make sure that I'm telling this right. You have EMD as a brand, and then you have Stagg. So you guys have things that you distribute and then things that you own. So
Right.
You're just distributing this product, but separate the companies that you guys have so everybody out there knows exactly the difference between EMD and Stagg.
EMD globally has always been a distributor since we started more than 50 years ago in Europe. We distributed a bunch of different products, and then in the mid '90s, there was a scenario where EMD, and this is exclusively the European company that I'm talking about now, couldn't get a line. They couldn't get a line of stands. They had guitars, they had drums, they had amps, they had and we want to have a full range selection to offer the dealers everything that they need. We couldn't get stands, so the owner of the company, who was still active at the time, and some of his people went over and developed They ordered a whole bunch of guitar stands, mic stands, that kind of thing from a stand supplier, and apparently on the flight home, they said, "Well, we got to put a brand name on some of this stuff. What are we going to put on it?" So, they didn't come up with anything from scratch. That what they wanted to do, they looked at some brand names that had been used in the industry, and that were no longer producing products. So the licensing or trademark or whatever was available. And Stagg was actually a Japanese guitar company from the late '60s, early '70s.
Really?
Interesting.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen some, they're super funky. They're kind of like a contemporary of Dan Electro or Silvertone.
Okay.
Like 7-position switches, and it's got like 2 pickups, but like 4 knobs and 10 switches, and it's like, what on earth do all those things do?
Yeah.
But so we licensed that brand name, and it was the stands, and then all of a sudden the Stagg brand started to grow, and it took over as being our primary thing. And that's kind of where the logic came as to why they moved to the States, because they created this brand, and this brand was selling like crazy overseas, and they wanted to bring it. It was like, look, we got to bring this to, this other market it's a revenue stream. So let's do it. So that's how the Stagg brand was developed, and now it encompasses cymbals, hardware, guitars, brass and woodwind, all different accessories on every platform, bags and cases. And then we developed the JN Guitar brand, which is our solid top acoustic guitar brand. There's also some cigar box guitars in there, which are super cool. The Angel Lopez brand is our solid top classical guitars. That's, once again, something that EMD owns. And Levante is a brass and woodwind line that EMD owns. Those are the brands that we control, that we own. And then because we have the infrastructure, and because we're an effective distributor, it makes sense to use our channel to do other stuff. I mentioned drum dots. We do some accessory products like timber tones, wood guitar picks, the drum dots, Aquila ukulele strings. Some big things that we do. We're the Laney distributor for the U.S., so we do all Laney amplification.
And that's and what is that in the last couple of years, right?
We picked up Laney almost 2 years ago.
Okay,
almost 2.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it was the end of 2017. It's our number 2 brand behind Stagg, and boy, what a great company to deal with. I really enjoy working with those guys. The guys over in England, their product development's on point. They care about the product. They make a good product. They want to help. They're so responsive. It's a perfect match. Ever since the first meeting of working with the sales director and the sales manager that are my primary contacts, and James Laney. It's a legacy company.
Gotcha.
James Laney is, there's still a lot of times you don't see that, particularly when you get a couple of generations past. And they're more than 50 years in business. They celebrated their 50-year anniversary a couple of years ago.
Awesome.
And we're
is that your only amps, or does Stagg have amps as well?
We have Stagg amps, and then on the PA side, they have HH Audio.
Okay.
HH Audio is a full line of PA monitor from an entry level up through arrays for touring rigs and that kind of thing, and that's a super solid product. It's also developed by the Laney development guys over in England, and that's been a great line for us. What other things do we do? British Drum Company. We seem to gravitate towards English companies. British Drum Company.
I wonder why, huh?
Yeah. British Drum Company is it's a wonderful upstart. Started about 3 years ago by a guy named Keith Kyo. Keith Kyo was the principal builder and designer for Premiere for a number of years. He had his own company for a little while, and he just wanted to get out there. And it's so simple. When you talk to Keith, he says, I wanted to make the best drums in the world. And that's a great aspiration, and I think he's done it. I'm a player.
They look really good.
I'm a player.
Yeah.
I bought a snare drum. I aspire to buy a kit. It's not a price point thing. It's not a cheap drum. There's expansion plans, but they're doing just absolutely wonderful product. It's so well built. I've been to their factory.
In your opinion,
everybody cares.
In your opinion, what's different between them and other drum manufacturers?
I think these guys, Keith knows what he's doing more than any other drum builder that I've talked to or interacted with. And the neat thing is the guys over there all care. You've been to any company, whether it's a guy that's going to change your oil to a department store, whatever. Mm-hmm. You walk into a store and the give a shit is not there.
Yeah.
When we met the guys over there, there was a dude that was showing us how they ply their own shells because they manufacture all their own shells.
Okay.
And the first thing he said to me and the sales manager who was there is, "Forgive my enthusiasm." and I stopped him. I said, "No, I won't." I said, "I will not forgive your enthusiasm because
it's important."
Bring excitement to your work. Bring excitement to your job.
Yeah.
And what you do, and it shows in the product. But their product is so beautiful in terms of the visual aspect of it, the functional aspect of it. And they sound awesome. They sound absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you go to when I bought my snare drum, I took it to rehearsal. I didn't mention anything to any of the
Man, you're
guys.
enthusiastic about it too.
Oh,
I was
it's great.
excited.
Yeah,
It
it's
rubbed off
So
on him.
yeah. So I take my snare drum into rehearsal and I start playing, and those guys noticed.
Yeah.
They were like, your snare drum has like 10 times the power that
Life,
it had.
yeah.
At the last practice, and I was like, yeah.
So you've had a good response here in the States on those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's gone well in some markets. It hasn't gone well in others. It's just we need to create a little more of an awareness of it, and that's one of the challenges with an upstart brand is to get more people aware of it because it's expensive to bombard people with drum magazine.
There's a
Modern
lot of good
Drummer.
drum sets out there.
There's a hell of a lot of good
Yeah.
drum sets out there.
Yeah, and I could see how that's an uphill climb. But
Yeah.
but if the longer that you're in the market, probably the
Yeah.
easier the acceptance will be. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, the brand awareness is getting there. It's kind of like what I said when Stagg first started. I had to explain to people what it was, and at this last NAMM show, there was more of a familiarity. People wanted to come see the British Drum Company stuff, not just have to stumble
cool.
upon it and say, "Oh, what's this?" They seek it out and they're like, "I've heard of this. I want to check it out. I want to see it firsthand." Other things that we're doing. British Drum Company has a thing called Kyo Percussion. Kyo Percussion is their handmade, environmentally friendly tambourines, shakers, that kind of thing. They're using a lot of wood construction. It's cool stuff, real kind of organic looking. We're doing Cutman drumsticks, which is a carbon fiber drumstick, and a carbon fiber drum rod, which is unique. Nobody else is doing that, which is absolutely a no-brainer. I don't know why. That was kind of like the Drum Dots thing. It's like nobody's making a drum rod. A wooden drum rod lasts you a gig and costs you $20. Okay, these are a little more expensive because they're a carbon fiber product. They'll cost a consumer about $45-$50. But I got a pair a year ago. I'm still using them.
What's the volume difference? Because I know on I forget the company name. I don't know I remember if it was Blastics or one of those where they had a couple different sizes. I'd get the light and then the heavier depending on the style of music that I was playing. What are the difference with these?
You said volume differences. You're talking about sticks or rods?
The rods.
The rods are going to perform a heck of a lot like the industry standard, your ProMark hot rod, and we just added a fourth thickness, and it's basically a dowel count. So there's one that feels like a 7A stick, a 5A,
Gotcha.
a 5B,
Okay.
and a 2B.
Gotcha.
And we use normal. It's the diameter that where it feels
The
in
same
your
feel,
hand
yeah.
is going to be. We kind of dictate that. If you're a 5B player, this is what you want. If
Gotcha.
you're a 2B player, that's the size that's going to feel most comfortable.
Between
for
the
you.
wood and the material they use, that's where I was going with the volume difference. Is there a difference in tone and volume with that stuff, or they sound similar?
No, I think it performs a lot like the wooden product.
Okay.
It's just a durability thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because
Because the other ones break all the time.
oh, they break, they
Yeah.
fall apart, they last.
I used to duct
half the
tape
time of
them.
a pair
Yeah.
of sticks. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're not cheap. They're 2 or 3 times the cost of a pair of sticks.
Yeah,
and you get
absolutely.
half the life.
Absolutely.
So you move to this product, it's
a no-brainer.
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Now let's talk about cymbals. You guys have done a really good job over the last, I don't remember how many years, because I remember you telling me, hey, you need to check these cymbals out. I want to say it was probably 5 years ago, but I'm just guessing. But you guys are really kicking butt with the cymbals. Tell us about those.
Well, we do a B20 hand-hammered product. We use the same manufacturing technique and metal compound as the industry leaders. And it's awesome for studio work, for live work. We have a couple different sound families. We don't necessarily do a good, better, best thing. We have stuff that's good for a low volume setting. We have stuff that's good for a jazz setting. We have stuff that's geared towards metal guys, rock guys.
At a
we
more
do
competitive
worship.
price.
Much more competitive price. That's the thing. We want to be profitable to the dealers. We want to be affordable to the consumer.
But the quality
That's
quality is good, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's
A lot of people,
yeah.
when we say budget price or
Yeah.
we need to explain that they're good cymbals.
Well,
Yeah.
you've said you've been a fan of them.
Yeah, no, I like them. They sound like a brand that I play. They sound similar. I'm trying to be nice here.
They can
I feel
be.
like I've been a negative.
Well,
few
Richard, they
times,
can be
yeah.
a brand that you play. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we talk about that after the mics.
We need to
You
work
need to
on
hook them
this.
up there. Yeah.
My son actually cracked my 16-inch Fash Crash, and it was one of my favorite cymbals. And so I may have to hit you up and find something that'll replace that. But anyways,
I can help there.
And then you guys are the distributor for Remo as well.
Yeah, we're a Remo distributor,
which is a big feather in your cap, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's a non-exclusive thing. I mean, Remo sells it, Hal Leonard sells it, a handful of other distribution outlets.
But they don't just sell it to
Remo.
anybody. I mean, they have good people. Good distributors. So I mean, that's a big deal. I think it is.
No, they have a good distributor network. Our competitors are solid, viable people. Remo Direct, they make everything to order. It's a California factory. Therefore, dealers aren't used to the lead times. Mm-hmm. So Remo themselves typically tends to they push the dealers to buy from distributors.
Absolutely,
because we can fill their POs. We got the stuff sitting on the shelves. Mm-hmm. Dealers have the ability to buy from Remo Direct. But with everything being made to order, most dealers, their purchasing model isn't set up to accommodate for a 8 to 10 week production time.
Sure.
So when they order something, they need it.
Yeah,
they don't
absolutely.
need it in 3 months.
Yeah.
So
well, one of my first introductions to your company was obviously the guitars, or to Stagg was the guitars. So, and I've always thought that. Man, a lot of the Strat-shaped and Tele-shaped guitars that you guys make, I thought have been.
Are you guys aren't doing those anymore, are you?
Well, we've taken a little bit of a step past that. We do still do some of those things. Mm-hmm. We do, we offer them OEM, which is another conversation that we should eventually get to. But we brought on a guitar designer about 5 or 6 years ago, and we have something that's a Strat-shaped object. But it's more of kind of a vintage thing, and it's a little bit different.
The SES and the SET.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for knowing those. I appreciate that. Yeah, the SES 50.
Wow.
Yeah, good.
Maybe we'll give you
well,
a title.
And that's to be honest with you, that's when I was looking. I thought that's not the same thing. You guys kind of retooled it and came out.
Well, we used to make things that were just almost clones.
Yeah.
Just pretty much clones. But
now you have your own line.
We have our own line. That's it's you can say it's inspired by that, or you can say it's inspired by that in terms of players have a need for that class of guitar and that style of guitar, and we make some of our own designs that are kind of down that line and in that regard. The SET stuff has P90s in it. So that's going to be very different than a traditional Tele. And they look cool. We do some funky finishes on them. We just developed the Silver A series.
Yeah.
Which we saw at the Winter NAMM.
They've been on the last.
That's the double cut?
Well, there's a double cut that we just added this year.
Which looks awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool piece.
And that's got a
P90
P90 in the neck and then a humbucker in the bridge. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm going to say yes and hope that I'm right.
Wait a second. Do we know that his product better than he does right now?
Yeah, what are the 5 colors that come? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, they look great. They actually have a lot. You actually had the one, there was the Custom Deluxe that was had almost like, kind of like a Tele pickup in the neck and then or in the bridge. They look great. They sound great.
The single cut one I like. I like the single cut one.
Absolutely. Great looking guitars.
The Silver A started as a common body shape with a couple of different pickup configurations geared towards different styles of music, and then we've evolved it where we've got a couple of basses in development.
I hadn't seen those. Oh, you said
no,
development.
They're not.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen.
No wonder I haven't seen.
I got a couple of secret pictures on my laptop of those, but come to Winter NAMM, we'll probably have them done by then.
Oh, that's good.
So.
Yeah, and then you got the 533. Was the semi-hollow body.
Did you do your homework, or do you know this stuff?
Well,
I'm impressed.
Hey, we might like this stuff.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, well, and I just think it's unique. It's kind of got it's got that classic shape, but it's still got a little bit different of the on the double cut and everything like that. So, but no, I thought they were great.
Yeah, I think they look good.
When we saw you at the Winter NAMM show, you said hello and everything like that, and you said, guys, come over here. I want to show you some of this stuff.
We even said right then, hey, man, these look awesome.
Yeah. Got the Nash, which is the 3P90 pickup, So, it's just some great pieces.
Stuff.
So those have been doing well for Stagg?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, very cool.
He's like, dang, I didn't know you guys knew my product line. I was here to explain it to you guys.
No, very good. Impressive. Points to both of you.
Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know. That was my big introduction to Stagg was a lot of the guitars that you guys developed. So, and I always thought that you guys developed great guitars at great price points. they kind of had some traditional shapes and everything like that, but I've never. I've always thought extremely well of them. So I'm assuming a lot of your music stores use it as a great line to sell in their store compared to other lines.
Think of it like a house brand.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a Fender dealer, you know, you're probably not going to carry our Fender shapes because you're going to have requirements to buy Squires or whatever.
Sure.
You know, if you're a Gibson dealer, you're not going to probably carry our Gibson shapes. But once again, that's where we can fit. You know. Hey, I have all this, and I have, I'm a Fender dealer. I have Fender, and that brings customers in the store, you know. But I have a much better profit margin on this product, and I have cases and accessories and cables and all these other products under this particular brand, and they make me more money. So,
what are the retails of some of these guitars?
Retail prices of our electrics, and remember these are retails, are probably going to be between low 200s up through maybe 500 or 600.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're priced at a place where everybody can buy them.
Oh, yeah,
Every
yeah.
music store can have them. It doesn't matter if even if you are a Fender dealer, or it doesn't matter what brands you carry, you can still add this product to your line, and it just fills out your store. If you're a guitar shop, or say you're a guitar shop and you have a ton of lines, you guys got models that would look great in their store. So it's not like, we don't really need it. I mean, you guys got some good looking stuff. And if you're a smaller dealer, it's a slam dunk, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
No. That's what I agree. I absolutely agree. So, but I know. How do you? I thought one of the questions that you have, I'm interested in hearing is in the midst of all of this, you guys obviously being a distribution company, you provide just about everything that everybody needs. But how do you, in this day and age where it can be very competitive, how do you keep your dealers motivated? How do you keep them moving forward or keeping them positive? What do you do? How do you interact with them?
It's a tough world out there.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think that starts, on the sales rep side. My sales reps, some of them are ho-hum, some of them are fired up kind of salespeople, but my interaction with all the customers at NAMM, or when I go out with rep visits and that kind of thing, I just want them to be aware. I don't know that I'm there to motivate people. Maybe I should work that into my arsenal.
Well, and I think of a lot of times I know that some manufacturers might be going, hey, listen, our way to motivate is through education of our product. Like, do you guys do a lot of education of either product, or do you leave that up to the reps, or, I don't know. How do you interact with them, just to keep people moving forward? I know it's just like Richard said, it's a very competitive world.
Well, any customer interaction, be it on the rep level, be it on the customer service level, be it me talking to a dealer, and I mean, I'll function in all these capacities. I'll function as the rep, customer service, what have you. Just advise. All conversations should be moving in. It should stay on point and should be moving in a matter of educating people about our product and our programs. So we motivate people, I guess, through profitability.
Yeah,
I think
which is a huge motivator.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
motivated.
I think that's the real answer is we need dealers to make money, because we need dealers to be there next year.
Absolutely.
And we need dealers to be there the
Absolutely.
year after that. And we want to have a relationship with these people that lasts a long time. And we want to have a supply chain with these people that lasts a long time. And we want their consumers to be happy, and their consumers to have a familiarity with us and what we do. But we want to be in the background in terms of we don't put EMD out there, and
Explain some of the product that I feel like every line or every company has a few of those products that they're like, man, why don't people know about this? Whether it's and I'll use your electric guitars. You guys come out with these cool electric guitars, but it's not as received as well as you think. And I'm not saying those are. I'm just using that as an example. What models or what brands or what do you have that you just really want people to know about, because you're like, you guys are missing the boat. You guys need to know about this product.
Well, we already hit on the cymbal product, and the cymbal product is sold wrong in retail at a lot of places because it's sold as a budget alternative. And a budget alternative, it just is just a term that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not that.
Now, whose fault is
premier,
that?
Well,
If we're going to put blame on anybody, whose fault is it?
well, it could be ours. It could be the dealers. I think it's a breakdown on every level. You know, there's some dealers that sell the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And they buy it and they sell it as what it is, a B20 hand hammered premium product, and it simply has a different name on it. And that's what they need to do. And some people, you know, oh well, if you can't afford this, then you know you can settle for that.
Gotcha.
And that's a total crap way to do it.
It's
It's their
different.
perception.
If you
the
take
owner, the
take this
dealer.
for example, consumers aren't as brand conscious as you think. And now Cymbals are kind of an exception to this, but you know we'll work the Percussive Art Society convention, and I'll go to that, and I'll interact with the drumming public, you know, for a couple of days, and we sell product through a dealer. I remember one particular year. We were kicking it. I sold probably 75 cymbals in a 3-day period, and towards the end of the last day, this guy came up to me and he says, "You know, I'm not a real big fan of your brand name." And I was like, "Oh, it's funny." I was like, I hear that when I talk to dealers, but I don't hear that when I talk to consumers. And I run a drum shop. And I was like, "Okay, you're a dealer. That's why." I was like, "I tell you what, to be honest, the Stagg brand name, I'm not a giant fan of it either. It has a little bit of a funky connotation." It was developed, the brand name, like I said, was agreed upon in Europe and developed in Europe. And, when we brought it to the States, it made sense because they were already producing the Stagg product and the supply chain. But, the word Stagg over here is an antiquated term for a bachelor party, for pornography, for something like that. And that's
It's a tough hurdle.
It's a tough hurdle, but at the same time, consumers I see look past it.
Dealers get hung up on it.
Dealers will get a little bit hung up on it here and there, and once they get past, I hear it in my first couple of conversations with a dealer.
Interesting.
And then they get past it,
Yeah.
and then they like it and they want to expand on it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because usually I would probably fall into the category where I'm brand conscious. And like I said, I play a competing brand. But when I actually looked at those cymbals and I go, man, these things look good. And then you play them and I'm like, these things sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Price wasn't even a question. You said, hey, these are priced really well. So I could see myself as a drum shop probably selling a pile of these because if somebody said, hey, I want this brand, great, set them up. Hey, check these out.
Yeah.
These are killer cymbals, and you need to play them. I that's why there's a breakdown somewhere. I don't know if it's education from you guys to the dealers or the dealers to the consumer, but there's some breakdown because I don't even think of it as, oh, these are cheap cymbals.
Yeah.
When I seen them, I did not think cheap cymbals.
Right.
I thought these look good. And then when I hit them, I go, these sound
Yeah,
good.
they do look
So,
great.
I don't know.
And just like any brand, you have a pile of well-known artists that are endorsing your product too. So, which, I think is always great. They obviously believe in the product you guys are making.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do, particularly on the cymbal side of it, is when I'll go to a dealer, I'll say, okay, you pick out your favorite cymbal in the store, you pick out your favorite cymbal in the store. Okay, everybody
compare.
Turn around.
Yeah.
And I'm going to strike cymbal A, B, and C.
It's a great way to do it.
A, B, and C,
Yep.
and then we're just going to talk about it. We're not going to say this one's better. We're going to talk about the
Tonal
frequency
qualities.
response,
Yeah.
the tonal
Yeah.
qualities,
Yeah.
the attack, the decay, all the things
Yeah.
that make a cymbal what a cymbal is. And it's like, okay, cymbal A, cymbal B, cymbal C. We might not win all of them. We win some of them. But
sure.
but it becomes down to a matter of personal preference. And then when I go through it at the end and I'm like, okay, cymbal A, $200. Cymbal B, $189. Cymbal C, $99. Is there a $100 difference between them?
Yeah.
No.
Well-
We've determined that the sound quality of them and that just basically the overall quality of the product is there. The warranty's there. It's we do everything that those guys need to. It's just cracking into. We're actually one of the top 3 cymbal companies in Europe, but we are not in the States. I think we're in the top 10, but we're towards the bottom half of the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, and to be honest with you, with our experience, I mean, I think you can take that across a ton of your products. I mean, the guitar cables that we've got experience with have been great, are a great product. I mean, if I was a music store, I would absolutely carry those.
Cables is like my lead conversation with a dealer because they're one of the most profitable things we sell. They're one of the most reliable things we sell.
Everybody needs them.
We have like 400 different models. It's kind of crazy, but you need that many.
Sure.
You need your insert cables, your instrument cables, your speaker of all configuration, your Y cables. So you need that much of a selection, and we have our S series, which is the standard, which are the price point ones, but still have a lifetime warranty on them. And then we have a deal with Neutrik where we do a line of Neutrik cables as well.
Well, and I know guitar players can be really difficult and finicky, and you might, if you're going in by a 20-foot cable, somebody might be working at brand conscious. But I tell everything else, patch cables, for pedal boards, if you need an XLR to a stereo 1/4 inch, and then the store owner says, "Hey, here, I've got that." And it says Stagg on the package, I'm like, sounds great, thanks, I appreciate it. It's like it's not a big deal.
Who's more picky is store buyers, and I'm gonna steal a pitch from my sales manager here. He says, the customer says, "Oh no, I carry Mogami or Monster or Fender branded cables," and they say, "Okay." Do customers walk into your store and they say, "I want an oxygen-free, heat shrink, directional instrument cable," or do they say, "Hey man, I need a 10-foot guitar cable"? Okay, and you're going to sell it for
I don't even know. I'm a guitar player, and I don't even know what you just said.
Oxygen free is the
he's going to explain it to you
in the manufacturing. And then directional means there's a one that goes in. It's supposed to go this way. One end is supposed to go in the guitar. The other end is supposed to go in.
What guitar player?
It's braided.
I want to know who these guys are.
That's the thing. People don't have that. People don't say that. And what it boils down to is you're going to sell that cable for $10. Okay, are you going to pay $7 for it, or do you want to buy it from me for $3.50?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who wants to make money?
Yeah, buy it from me for $3.50 and sell it for $10, and or if you need to throw it in as a closer for a guitar or for a guitar sale or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I've always been in the past. You always see. You can get one brand of a 20-foot cable for maybe $19.99 or $24.99, and then you see Monster cable out there, and it's the same thing for it's like $49.99. And I've just always been like, there's just no way. I want to know who these directional oxygen guys are, because they're taking pictures of their shoes and their pedal board and putting them on Instagram.
Probably. Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Anyways, that's enough of that. I just thought that was funny.
All right, let's talk about dealers and what kind of dealers you want. I mean, obviously, we've kind of skimmed through some of the lists and some of the product and got off topic a couple times, and we'll edit a few things. And
that's great.
But that's part of doing a podcast. But let's talk about dealers, because we have a lot of people that are listening, and there's a lot of people out there that are going, man, I don't know who EMD is, or I know a little bit about them, or when I've been at the winter or summer show, I've walked by their booth and think it's really cool, but I want to know more information because they have a ton of stuff. They can help me out in a ton of ways. One thing that you've brought up several times, which I think honestly is probably the most important thing, is price point. You can help dealers make money.
Yeah.
So we're in August. It's hot out there. People aren't walking in a store. The register ain't dinging. People need to make money. You provide that solution.
Yeah.
Music stores need to call you. They need to do business with you because you have price points that will make them money. Yeah. They'll keep the customers happy. It's a win-win. Yeah. So we need to have people call you. We need to have them do business with you because you're a profit center, and we talk a lot in the podcast about profit centers. Well, you're a company that is a profit center, and people need to do business with you. I'm getting tongue-tied. I think I'm getting excited.
That's right.
So give them the details of how to reach out to you, contact you. What information do you need them to have?
Well, USA at emdmusic.com or Canada at emdmusic.com or the general emails. My personal email is a.swift at emdmusic.com. It's SWIFT. Send me an email. The toll-free number for the company is 866 871-5800. Give us a call, talk to me. Anybody in customer service who answers the phone can help you and walk you through becoming a dealer, and can help you figure out, where we can help your store. There's not a store out there that we can't help, that we don't have at least one, if not 300 products for. If you know one of our sales reps and you haven't invited them in, or if it's an independent sales rep, you're buying another product line, have them pitch you the EMD goods. Have them pitch you that catalog. Take a serious look at it. It's really worth it. It might not be, like I said, we said this earlier, it might not have the cool factor, but being broke doesn't have the cool factor either.
Having
to close your shop because your profitability sucks, it does not have a cool factor at all. So we want,
huge deal.
we're all in this business. We want to be in this. Nobody went and got a degree, MBA, or, well, some people do, but most of the people in the MI business are guitar players, drummers. We get into this business because we want to because it's a fun business.
It is.
At some point it was a cool job, and at least for the three of us and a lot of the listeners, it eventually became your career. And we understand that, but we understand it from a business perspective.
Absolutely. Well, I think you have proven that you can make money in this industry. I mean, that's something that we talk about a lot. We have a lot of people in here, and that's a hot topic. But
it's a great.
I think people need to go to Stagg and buy product. We have experience with it because we've done business with you. Mm-hmm. And we need to do more business with you.
I agree.
But we could talk about that. Yeah. So I think everybody needs to go and shoot you an email.
Yeah.
Everybody out there listening that knows me, I will honestly say Andrew's a good guy. I trust him. I've known him for a long, long time. So you need to contact him. You need to reach out to him. You need to do business with him. He'll take care of you. He'll treat you right. He's in it for the long haul. He's not in it to just sell you one order or two orders and go away. He's in it for years and years. So we appreciate you, Andrew.
Yeah, man.
We like you.
I appreciate you saying the things about me, but that I embody what the company is, and I'm a soldier for EMD to go out there and make it all happen.
Yeah.
And this is this I'm at the top of the me and some others are at the top of the North American organization, but the same philosophy extends to EMD all the way from the ownership down to the guys that are packing boxes in my warehouse.
Yeah. It's a good company. Good people out there.
Great company.
The times I've been out
we
there.
got a great group of people.
Yeah,
Our
everybody's
customer
been
service
really
people are
nice.
great. Our field reps are great. Our techs care. The guys that are packing the boxes for the dealers, they care.
Yeah.
We get stuff there on time. We have a good fill rate, good price points. What people need a distributor to be. And I was you and I, we talked about this way at the beginning. We worked in retail together, and it's easy if you work in retail, and it's easy if you sit on a distributor phone and listen to retail customers. They'll tell you what everybody else is doing wrong. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
No.
Well, it's great watching you guys be successful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, I love the website, love the product that you guys have. So, and I would absolutely recommend anybody needs to get in contact with you to see how you guys could do business together.
Awesome.
So,
You want to close us out?
yeah, man. So, another great episode, Andrew. We really appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you on maybe down the road just to update, and maybe sometime next year after Winter NAMM, see what you have
After
to roll
they
out.
present the bases and other products. I'm
bases.
excited about
There you go.
that.
Other products.
He kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. That's awesome.
It's a logical extension.
Yeah,
Probably could have guessed that.
Yeah, well, anyways.
Come
but
on, man. We're trying to act cool.
Okay, yeah.
So, anyways, obviously, the Music Retail Show, if you guys have any feedback or any questions for Andrew, you can reach out to him or just email us at themusicretailshow@gmail.com. But check out, obviously, this episode and others at themusicretailshow.com. Thanks.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
The Music Retail Show.